And
And
it's
we're live.
showtime. We are
It's
live.
time. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Sorry we missed you last week. We had a kind of a crazy week, and
Oh
as
my
you can
God, crazy
tell,
week.
a lot of things are a little different right now. We had to put a temporary pause on our daily tips just while we work on some things with the business. And other than that, it's very good to see all you guys. We just finished our member show, and we were happy to catch up with all of them and see how everybody's doing. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Let's get it going.
Looks like we
See a
got a
lot of you in
bunch
here.
of people in here already.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Arthur in Vegas, I think you're new. I don't remember you. Lockwood Larson, we familiar face. We got Majestic, of course, and Proud Monkey and Susan, our great moderators. DB, who is that? Beat Martini Slots, how you doing?
Oh yeah.
Of course,
You know him.
Donna's here. We got Liz. I don't know if Liz stayed in. I think we got Amanda. Man, we got a good crowd already. It's already like
Yeah,
70
thank you guys.
people in here.
Really appreciate it. So we're going to be talking about a lot of exciting stuff today, especially about some recent news that came out about sweepstakes casinos, and some of your most well-known ones that you've heard of. They're on the hook. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But as we do, Dave's going to be the one running that. Start asking your questions. I'm going to be looking at the question box in here as you guys are typing your comments, so we'll start starring them up and answer them as soon as we get done with our topic. But feel free to ask at any time, even if you don't get it in early. We try to pick ones that are relatively new. We do some repeats also, but think about some really good questions that you haven't asked us before, and we're more likely to take them. How's that? But it's very good to see everybody. We miss you guys. We're glad we're back in here, back in the saddle, so to speak. And let's get going, Dave. What is going on with the
Boy.
sweepstakes?
So we've all heard that sweepstakes legislation is coming down. This is mainly happening in New Jersey, where a lot of these sweepstakes places have a huge foothold. So the big player in the game space is actually an Australian company. I'm going to add this to our stage here so everybody can see. This is the article for this. So VGW is the biggest player in this space. They do Chumba, they do Lucky Land slots, they do Global Poker. Huge influence in Mississippi and New Jersey, and they are now canceling it and switching to a traditional social casino. The reason being is that sweepstakes are in the crosshairs right now for legislation wise. Instead of having them become illegal and them having no way to go back, they're kind of doing it ahead of time. This is a huge thing. Chumba is the big player in sweepstakes. So the fact that they are changing their model, this is going to hurt financially for them. Sweepstakes have a bigger upside for the owner, for the company, than the player. Social casino is more even place for the player because you don't have to buy coins usually. You can usually get some free coins now and then and, get emails and all that for free coins. You don't have to buy. So big chains. The huge difference is because sweepstakes and sweepstake coins are the two different things there. So you got regular coins and you have sweepstakes coins. You play for the sweepstakes to win cash prizes and all that kind of stuff. It really skirts the law in a lot of states, and that's what kind of brought the attention to it. So the fact that the VGW is now leaving that space is kind of huge, and I don't think they're the last one. I think we're going to see a lot more sweepstakes kind of kick the bucket.
Yeah, we see a couple of questions out here already about, let's see, what's a sweepstakes casino? Shelly Phillips asked. Very good question. I'm glad you asked that. So let me stop sharing this real quick. So you basically have social casinos, which social casinos are kind of like the mobile apps that you download, except they have a social aspect to it. So these are ones where you buy fake coins, but you don't win real money, right? There's no cash prizes, so to speak. So social casinos are just that. You buy fake coins, you play along with friends, leaderboards, tournaments, stuff like that, okay? Those are fairly common. But in the last 5 years especially, sweepstakes casinos have been skyrocketing, okay? And this is where it's a little bit of a gray line because you basically buy fake coins, but what they do is they give you a certain amount of sweepstakes coins for you buying those fake coins. Those sweepstakes coins have a 1-to-1 value, meaning that for every one sweepstakes coin, it's $1 in real money. You play slots, table games, whatever you want to play. And then when you cash out, you're basically converting the sweepstakes coins into cash by purchasing stuff, but you're not really purchasing stuff. All you're doing is converting it back to dollars that you can then withdraw. So it's like a roundabout way of being able to do a casino without direct cash being involved when you're playing the game. It's kind of just it's a way around the rules, right? Japan does this famous thing with their casinos where you cannot, turn in anything inside of the casino. You got to go next door and turn in your marbles from the pachinko machines and get paid that way, because it can't be inside of the casino establishment itself because of laws. And so sweepstakes are kind of doing the same thing. But the biggest flag for us, and we've mentioned this a lot on this channel, and the reason we kind of steer away from it is because they are not regulated the same as land-based casinos or even online casinos that have land-based counterparts like Caesars, FanDuel. All these are state licensed and run like online gambling, where sweepstakes is kind of in the gray area. Now, they're not illegal. I don't want you to get that idea that they're legal. They're not. They're perfectly legal to play for now. But what Dave is saying is that more and more states are starting to jump in and put the kibosh on this stuff. And what that means is that they better try to get out now while they can before they get completely shut down. So it's one of those things that it's getting the attention of regulators. And I think they're going to start really coming down. A lot of states, not a lot of states, but I'd say a handful of states have already banned it. But I think that list is going to just continue to grow and grow and grow. We never recommend playing them just because of that gray area. You never know what's going to happen. They set the value of the sweepstakes coin. So even though it's 1-to-1, in theory, and according to their terms of service, they could change it to be 50 cents for every one coin. They could do it anytime they want. They're not going to, because it's bad business practice, right? The only way they get away with it is if everybody did it, right? Because then you would just take your money out and leave and never play again. So, it's kind of in the honor system if you kind of think of it that way. But it's just not a good idea, in our opinion. You can load money in any means. You can put credit cards. You can buy these things with credit cards and stuff like that. There's no limits, and you can get carried away very quickly with sweepstakes casinos. So, but that's what's going on here. We're not really that surprised. We figured this is kind of the natural ebb and flow of something like this. Whenever you come up with something that kind of skirts around the law, well, what are they going to do? They're going to fix the law so you can't skirt around it anymore. And it looks like that's what's starting to head this way. So they're trying to convert over to a non-money game, essentially just a social casino, and try to convert all their users early while they can, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps Shelly explain the situation there. Good question.
Oh, I got a question here from Kevin Deal. Can't help but jump on. Being you guys are IT experts, what is your take on all these cyber attacks and hacks? Will AI help or be a detriment to the problem? Kevin, we were just talking about this on the members live. AI is absolutely being a detriment in this situation. All of these groups that are attacking various companies, it's not just casinos, it's companies around the world. They hit Clorox a couple weeks ago. They've hit a bunch of different companies. Venetian may have been hit by this as well. We haven't got the full word. But what they're doing is they're using AI to both use voice. They're combing social networks, finding your voice, AI faking it to call up the help desk to get them to change the password. Now, this does work in some smaller places, and I was actually telling our members that I heard from a friend of mine who works at a large company with a bunch of alphabets in it. Hopefully that hits with some of you guys. So there was actually a report, and I don't know if this is true or not because I have not seen video evidence of it, but they used the AI technology to comb social media for one of the executives and video faked him on a desktop support call. So he called in on a video call, and there he is asking them to change his password. If that is true, that is next level diabolical and a huge misuse of what AI was intended for. And so this is absolutely for sure helping all these attackers. It is the one thing that is getting them this big boost that they needed. So in this situation, huge detriment.
I think in general, and you guys put in your comments what you think about AI. I'm always curious about this question. I know it's not very relevant to what we're talking about, but it's funny because when AI first started like become a big thing in the last couple of years, I was very adamant to use it. Against it. I was not wanting to use it because I'm like, oh, this is just going to make society dumber, right? Because now we can rely on all these tools to do all the heavy thinking for us. Why go to college? Why do research? Why learn how to write, spell, grammatics? Like, why learn all that stuff if you can just throw it at a chatbot and say, fix it for me, right? And so I've always been kind of against it. Although I will have to admit that in my daily life of being a software engineer, it has helped me to speed up things that normally would have taken me longer to do. And so I see benefits there. But this is like anything else. Like it can become a runaway train, which is what this is a good example of if you don't put controls in place. If you allow AI to do whatever they want, and even Mark Zuckerberg over there at Facebook is trying to build super AI now, super artificial intelligence that is supposed to be next level stuff, but it's like to the point where it's surpassing human thought. What do you
I
guys
saw that
think of
movie.
that?
It didn't turn out good for us.
What do you guys think of that? Like, it scares me because I think there's how far do we need to go with this thing before
Right there.
it becomes, never a fan of ever seen the Terminator movies. Good point. It's very, Skynet. You'll hear the Skynet, Matrix, all those. You'll hear all
of
these.
It has, here's the problem is that in any movie that was based on robotics, artificial intelligence, anything else, it never is going to go well for the humans.
Right.
Ever. And this is just like the whole thing. Like, I like the AI technology. I like the fact that it can help us do things. But we've got to be careful with it because we can't let it do the Terminator thing to us. And don't one person tell me it's not possible, because it is absolutely possible for it to happen. It may take 10 years, but it is absolutely possible.
I always remember the very famous
not probable,
scene.
not probable, but possible.
That's right, possible. I always remember the very famous scene from Jurassic Park when he says that scientists spend so much time trying to figure out if they could do something that they don't spend any time thinking if they should.
And
I
do
think
something.
It's very relevant here in this AI world. So we'll see.
True.
We'll just see. All right, back to the topic. But let's get some questions going, Dave.
I marked a bunch of them here already.
Yeah, we got some good ones here. Teresa D, good to see you. I'm curious, is video poker truly random based on one deck of cards? Yes, it is. They can't put certain weights in video poker. They can't allow the RNG or anything to put weights on the solution or on the deck of cards, right? If they see that you have a royal flush draw, they can't say, we'll make it really difficult to get that last one. It has to be evenly distributed on video poker. So it is very much truly random based on a deck of cards in video poker. Good question.
And from Tony Novak, how many servers in a Class 2 casino? That's really a difficult thing to answer. There's at least one for sure, because they all have to be server connected. This is only for Class 2. Don't run out there and say they said servers are connected to all the casinos. No, they didn't. It is only for Class 2 because they are just shells inside. They don't do anything themselves. So at WinStar, take into account they have 11,000 slot machines. Let's say 8,000 of those are bingo type machines that require a server. I'm just going to throw a number out there and say it's a server for every 1,000 machines. I have no basis for this. It's just what I kind of think logically, being in the computer realm, of how much power you need for each one to be able to do, plus have failover. So I'd say roughly one per each 1,000 machines. I will try to get this answered like I do every year at G2E, but it's just hard to talk to these Class 2 guys because they are pushed into the back and no one lets them out.
That's right.
It is the truth. They are in the back of the booth and literally no one is talking to them. It's almost sad.
Yep. We'll give them some love this year. How's that?
We'll try to find them.
Let's see. Ryan D, some thoughts on sweepstakes. I don't see sweepstakes as fun. I'd rather go to a traditional casino so that you feel the actual money you're gambling with. And I saw Majestic Slots said something similar too. We talk about this all the time on this channel. Like it takes a certain next level discipline to be able to gamble at home, right? Like being able to gamble whenever you want. Your line at the grocery store, you can open up and gamble. You're at home sitting on the toilet, you can open up and gamble. You're laying in bed at night trying to fall asleep, you can open up and gamble. It's like you have to have very strict discipline to be able to work in that environment, right? But we think it should be more about the experience, in our opinion. So going to a physical casino, bringing the money that you can afford to play with, things like that. I think it's just an overall better experience and less likely for you to go off the deep end quicker that way, if that makes sense. But
and this is from Nate M. What's new or different about these lock boxes? I think Susan put up a link, and what's new? Our lock boxes are small. That's what's different about them. They are very small. So this is what do I got here? What's the measurement on this thing? There you go. So that's how small it is. It's only about, what is that, 6 inches? Not even. 120 millimeters. Someone wants to do math real quick. 5 inches. But they are very strong metal. They come with 2 keys. Good lock. Place for your money. There it is. And they're compact. So that's what's different and new about them.
Let's see. Oh, man, some really good questions coming in. Thank you so much, guys. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Oh, man, I'll take another one of these if unless you got one.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Richard Jacobs, Dave, LV Advisor said hand pay limits was for contest winners. Do you know anything about the hand pay? I don't know what they meant by contest winners. The hand pay amount was changed to $2,000. Realize we're not all a fan of that. So the machine you play may lock up at $1,200, but you're not going to get a hand pay. You're just going to get credits of the machine. They may still pay you in the interim until they figure all this out. They may still bring you money, but you will not get a W-2G for it. All right. $2,000 and over, you will get a W-2 for it. But in the interim, remember, this is still new for the casinos as well. It's going to take them a lot of time. It is not a quick process. For each machine, they're going to have to get Gaming Commission out there to do all these changes. I don't see it happening. I see it happening over the course of a while, not over the course of the next 6 to 12 months. Any new machines coming in will obviously have the new changes to them, and they won't have to be changes. But otherwise, Gaming Commission is going to have to come out. All this stuff's going to happen. So if something's not already happening to that machine, I don't see it happening. So we'll see. But I don't know what they meant by contest winners.
And Burgett, good to see you, Burgett. You're always in the comments. We appreciate you. When you play 2-cent denomination and the bonuses are 2 times the value of the hold and spin orb, thanks. Yeah, in general. So the way those typically work is that if it's anything below $1, it's going to be in credits. Now, some of those games, when you get to the dollar level or $2 or $5, they'll change the orbs into the actual dollar amount. So in this case, it's below that. It's all about the multiplier of your bet. So if you're betting, if it shows an orb and it's 300 and you're on pennies, it's $3. If it's an orb and it's the same amount, the same multiplier of your bet, and it's on 2 cents, that number would be 300, but times 2 because you're betting 2 cents. So what you're saying is correct. So just, you have to multiply, you have to do the math. And that's why, like, it's tricky sometimes, like on 5 cents to figure out, okay, I just got an orb for 1,800 nickels. How much is that? It's hard to kind of do the conversion in your head. But it's all in relation to your bet.
And from Ethiological, Free California, down with the tribal casinos. How dare they try to ban sweeps, not hurting their profits? Well, so think of it this way. In New Jersey, where they were actively trying to ban the sweepstakes and pretty much succeeded, or are going to succeed, it was the casinos, it was FanDuel, it was DraftKings, it was the legalized sports betting, other places. All these places, this absolutely hurts casino profits. There's no sweepstakes legal in Nevada because the casinos have such a great lobby. The tribal casinos in California are doing the exact same thing that all the other casinos around the country are doing, and that's cracking down on what potentially can be illegal gambling. So I don't see that it's the tribal casinos' problem, or I should say that they're evil for trying to ban this. It's business. In business, business happens.
Let's see. And Ryan asked another question. Since you started this channel, do you feel you're getting targeted by other channels that push out fake strategies, misinformation? So how do you battle it? Listen,
Yep.
I'm going to give you my opinion on this. Like, yeah, of course. Like the more you come up in searching, the more aware people will become. I'm confident in the information that I provide, and I know Dave is as well. People can contest it all they want. I have no problems with that. We are aware of one that came out a couple of weeks ago that is dogging us. That's fine. He can say
Didn't even use
whatever he
good
wants.
info.
It's okay, but it's not. Well, he's wrong and I'm right. No, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't really affect me a lot. I think it's just important that we keep going with the message that we have, and we are confident in the information that we provide. And we just keep it as simple as that. Everybody is free to do and say whatever they want on YouTube. We are not the police. I don't want to be the police. Yes, I've done some videos in the past to kind of bring some attention to some of these people, but it's all about the information for us, not about the person that's giving it out. And if everybody's entitled to their opinion in this space, and I want to respect that, I really do. So we'll just leave it at that. But that's kind of how my opinion on that matter.
From Tglip24. So I've seen this question a couple of times here. This is just one I picked here. Rumors this week: Downtown Grand sale fell through, which is true. Sale fell through. It always sales of casinos don't always go through. That's fact of many businesses. Vendors aren't being paid. I've heard that. I don't have any facts of that. But again, it's not something that's unusual for a business to do. Freedom Beat Restaurant and closed until further notice. I don't know if that's connected or not. Businesses often go through cycles like this to where money might be tight. It's happens. Vendors maybe put on instead of a net 30, a net 90. It also happens. But also could be businesses getting ready to file for bankruptcy. That doesn't mean that the business is going out of business, that the casino is going out of business. It just means they're filing for protection from the creditors. We have a very close person in Downtown Grand. They have told us nothing that would be worrisome to us. We are going forward with our plans at D2E. I'm actually meeting them out there next weekend for some particulars and all that. I will ask again in person. That way there's, they can speak off the record. But nothing so far has been told. So I'm not concerned with it because I know how business works. Businesses go bankrupt all the time. It's just a way to protect the business. A lot of time, that's why businesses are formed, to protect assets, and the business will fold. It just happens.
And Lucky Jules coming in with the 10 gifted subs. Thank you so much.
That's me again. Sorry,
Dave.
I did it twice.
No, we do this all the time to each other. Lucky Jules Slots gifted 10 Gamble Smart memberships. Thank you, Lucky Jules, and congratulations to all the winners. We have a lot of fun as members on here, so thank you, Lucky Jules. So generous of you. You're the best. You're the best. I hope we get to make it out to West Windover again to meet you guys again. It'll be fun. Let's see.
That was the same question there.
I'll take this one here. Deviator says, what makes social casinos better than sweepstakes casinos? Can't they both change the rules at any time? It's not like they're not better. One's better than the other. They're different, right? Sweepstakes casinos, real money is involved. Social casinos, real money is not involved. It's up to you which one you want to pick. I think that personally, I wouldn't play really either because I hate buying like fake coins, and then when they run out, I got to buy more fake coins, and I'm not turning them in for anything. I don't know. If it's entertainment, then fine. But some of those is kind of hard. You got to keep refilling the coins over and over again. So it's all. This is just me guessing, but I would suspect that social casinos can change rules anytime they want because there's no real money involved. Like anytime real money is involved, that's when regulation comes in and you get a lot of eyeballs on it. So because it's not with the social casinos, probably less likely for that to happen. But good question.
And from Dano, will this affect SpinQuest? He's talking about the sweepstakes. SpinQuest is not owned by VGW, so I do not know the fate of them. I would definitely say in the future it might. It depends on legislation in New Jersey. That's going to be the kickoff for this because that's where it's all started, is the legislative action in New Jersey. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see. And Michael Kahlo says, I haven't seen you in here before, so welcome, Michael. Triple double strike pay table seems simple. Is this a low volatility game? Oh, be careful with that one. Be
Remember the
careful with that
triple
one.
and the double are together.
Yeah.
Triple and the
Not
double.
not only that, but all the ones, and this is just my opinion, and we don't really know what the volatility is my opinion, that one's a little bit higher because it's like double gold, which I have sitting right next to me, which is why I'm looking over here, where you can win by getting a mix of anything on there. So it's essentially a little better than a cherry, right? And so I think those games are a little bit tougher to get anything to line up. I don't like the double strike games personally, even though they're old school. I just think they're kind of tough to win on when I've ever played it. So just be careful out there. Just because the pay table looks simple, you got to look at all those other things too that feed into it. Like what does the pay table look like? Does there big jumps between? We were just talking about Tabasco here, where it goes from 15 up to 75. Well, where's all the stuff in between there, which you get on most games like Double Diamond and stuff? That's going to drive the volatility up, right? Because it's top heavy, right? The prizes are way at the top, more up there than they are at the bottom. So it's tough. It's tough to read the volatility of a game. You kind of have to use different things. All right, good question though.
From Stro Photo and Video, nice to see you back. I know you've been here before. I know this is false, but another channel said new machines are set to a higher RTP. I like payback percentage better than RPT. That's just the way I am. And then lowered when the game becomes popular. Can you set the record straight? This false statement. Most of the time, and I'm going to say 99% of the time, once a machine is set to its payback percentage, that's it. It's never touched again. I know really everyone likes to have this idea that these machines are constantly being changed, but it's a pain in the ass for the casino to do. They have to get the gaming commission down there. They have to have another person, slot tech there as well, and generally another person with security, all to sign off on this. We got it somewhere. I got my form. Mark, you got yours somewhere.
Yeah.
But we have these forms that came and showed everybody signing off on all these things of every time the doors open and when the gaming commission came by and what they specifically did. Most of the time, and I'm going to say again, 99%, once a machine comes into the casino, it's not touched again. They don't touch the gaming chip again. They don't touch the payback percentage. They will do simple operations, but they don't like touching the rest of it. So now new machines, all the time. When new machines come in, they're going to be set differently. So like, let's say a top dollar machine has been sitting there for 10 years. I've probably never been touched. But when a new machine comes in, like let's say, I don't know, Dracula machine, they might set it to a different payback percentage than that top dollar. But once that's set, they're probably never touching it again. So that is the truth on it. Casinos don't like changing stuff. They don't need to. They're fine with 92%. They are perfectly fine in the 90s. They don't care. So, yeah, it's pretty much false.
There's this concept where people think that, casinos are way more involved than they really are, like Dave's saying. Does it make logical sense that they would do that? Yes, it does. Like, it would make logical sense that they would go around and say, okay, the ones that everybody has to stub their toe on the way to the bathroom, let's set those to be really high so lots of people play them. Or the same thing when a new game comes out, let's set them really high so they get hooked. And then after they're hooked, let's drop it to the lowest setting possible. They're going to play it anyway, right? I can see the logical reasoning there, okay? But the thing is that everything is such a long-term play with slot machines anyway, that if they did that, there's really no guarantees on what would happen in that period of time. Even a machine set at the very lowest can behave very favorably towards the player in the short term. The other thing to consider, guys, and I know this is going to sound radical and crazy, but people or casinos actually love it when people win, because that means they will continue to play. Everyone around them will see that they're winning and they will start playing. They don't want to set it low so people stop playing it and then they have to replace the game. That's not what their intention is. They want to keep it at a level that is acceptable and average around all the casinos that are around them so that people get the same somewhat experience in the same area that they're at so that they don't feel like they're being robbed. Casinos love people to win. They really do. You know how it is. You know what slot machines do. You know what any a game of chance does. The more you win, the more likely you're going to continue to play. And that's all that matters. You play longer, you give them more. That's just the way it is. So think about it on that side. People don't really think about it that way.
Something else. So that double top dollar machine behind Mark, I'm willing to bet that right now he could change the payback percentage on that in under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 minutes, under 3 minutes. Now that's without paperwork. That's without anyone standing around them. That's without people having to fill out stuff. So 3 minutes. And let's say they had Mark doing this and someone else was doing the paperwork. The gaming commission was going behind him and checking everything and changing all that. 3 minutes per machine. Look at a casino of the size of Yamava with 8,000 machines. WinStar with 11,000. 3 minutes per machine. It's impractical to change those around. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things. So he's going to try to do it actually, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to do it. I'm going to show you guys something. So as you know, guys, that we refurbish and sell slot machines for the house. And so we get a lot of machines coming through here.
Home use only.
And home use only, definitely. And in fact, this is a great plug. We are selling this double top dollar. And in fact, we're gonna do $500 off. So it'd be $4,000 if you use the code. What did I put the code at?
I can't remember what you put the code.
No, the code is on our store at gamblesmart.net. The code is top dollar 500. So if you want to get this, it's only valid for tonight. It goes back up to 4,500 tomorrow, but that's not including shipping or tax. All right. Anyway, I just want to.
And that may be our less double top dollar for a while.
Yeah, because we don't. Everything else is
the glass.
Yeah, we have to order more glass and stuff.
Top dollar.
We have a lot of other. Yeah, we have other ones here, but this is the last double top dollar we have. All right, so I want to show you guys something. This is a board out of the Tabasco. I just pulled it out, and we talk about this all the time about sealing and unsealing a machine. And what does that actually mean? So when Dave is talking about a casino wanting to do a payback percentage change, they have to have the gaming commission come out and unseal the machine. Every single slot machine has a specific area inside of it that is jailed off from the casino and from slot technicians, slot manager, casino managers, all that stuff, okay? It is protected by the gaming commission. And they put tamper-proof stuff in place so they know if somebody has been monkeying with it, okay? Here's a perfect example of one. I just pulled it out. Now you can see there's a lot of tape all over this one because it's been sealed and unsealed several times. I'm trying to read which, it says gaming control inspected 47. I can't read, they cut it off, but this stuff goes, you have to pull this board out to make any payback percentage change on Tabasco, okay? That is a requirement. But they would know by putting this tape here if somebody, the casino, for example, opened it up and pulled this out, okay? And they're putting their license on the line by doing that, right? So if the casino said, let's just do it, let's just change it to 83 and don't tell the gaming commission, you know, because we want to make some more, we want to make some more money over the next month. Let's not fill up any, we'll just let them, you know, not let them know. They have to break this seal and their license can get terminated just off of this. Like, that's how serious it is. And I've been on this side of it, guys, and it's serious stuff. Like, it really is. And so I know people feel like casinos just change stuff whenever they want, even the newer games. Okay, I know I'm holding up a board to a very old game, but even the newer games have this same tape on it. Okay, even the brand new cabinets that I get in here sometimes, they have the same tape on it. Okay, it's protected and it's there for a reason. It's for your protection, so you know that the casino is not doing anything nefarious without gaming oversight. But it's also for the protection of the casino, that nobody else is messing with their stuff, right? I just want to throw that out there because I think a lot of people think that there's some guy in the back with dials that can just at any time set a machine to win or set a machine to lose whenever they want. Or let's turn the bonuses on, let's turn the bonuses off. Let's lower the payback percentage for the weekend because California's coming in and they're going to play regardless. They do not micromanage it like that. The only thing that they are interested in is getting people to play the game, because a machine that is sitting in a casino that's not being played is lost revenue for them. That's how they view it. And that's what they do metrics on. If a machine hasn't been touched in 48 hours, they start to seriously consider that machine shouldn't be there. It should be moved somewhere else where maybe somebody will see it and play it. Because, you know, there's some dark corners and stuff where people don't really walk and people don't know it's there. So they'll shuffle things around, try to get some life back into it. Other than that, it's gone, right? They just take it off and they put something else in its place that people will play. That's what they're focused on, not the payback percentage, not fine tuning anything for weekends, you know, promotions, stuff like that. They don't do it, guys. They just don't do it. They're not interested in the short-term game. They're interested in the long-term. All right, ran over, but I hope you guys learned something from that. I'm passionate about it. I talk
I
about
got
it.
another one here from Brian 916. At my local casino, I saw the return to player was set to 89.6% on Yo-Yoti in the BIOS. Horrible. That's amazing you saw that. So that's incredible.
89
You
is
saw
not
that.
bad.
89
is not
is
bad.
it's not bad.
It's not
89
bad.
is practically 90, and that is the national average. So
Right.
national average is 90%. This is from casino sources, industry sources, that the average is 90%. So 89.6 is really not that bad, especially for a new game like Yo Yeti, where a lot of these games are being kind of only option is to set them like at 87% or 88% or 89%. This is the way the industry is going. It's just what they're doing now.
Yeah. And JJ General brings up a good thing here. So, but we're going to pretend that maybe, just maybe, casinos aren't greasing the hands of those involved with oversight to look the other way. We don't know. Like, we definitely don't know. But I do want you to consider this. If this was happening, I would think at this point in the game, there would be some whistleblower somewhere that has come out with this, or it would make news. And the reason I think this is not occurring is because of the gaming license. This piece of paper, this license to operate a casino establishment is their make or break business document. If anything happens to that, if they put any risk, if they have an employee that's going rogue and is paying off the commission to make these changes, that is putting tremendous risk on their gaming license. Because even though that gaming person, the gaming commissioner or whatever that they're paying off and greasing, is in on it, somebody else is going to look at it and say, this doesn't look right. And then the whole thing collapses. The gaming control goes after the casino. All I'm trying to say is, do we know that this is not happening? Of course not. And maybe in some of the smaller casinos it is. But large scale, guys, like this, it would be a humongous conspiracy theory. And it's just really hard for me to believe that nobody has come out to say otherwise yet. We would hear about it. You hear about it. Casinos would start getting shut down. Even if a casino got shut down for a day, they are done. They're finished, right? Because news gets out, so-and-so casino was shut down because they were tampering with machines. Would you ever go back to that casino after it reopened? I wouldn't, So they really treat this as very serious stuff. And that's why they over-document everything. You open the door to put new ticket printer paper in, they sign off on it. Like there's a reason in paper trail for everything in this business, because they're trying to not put their gaming license on the line. It's just too risky, if that makes sense. So
remember this, we love a conspiracy theory. We love the idea that this is why we're losing, is because the gaming commission's on the take, the casinos are on the take, all this stuff, because we see movies where this is portrayed. But we love a conspiracy. We love to think that it's someone else's fault, not our own, for losing. And that's why we like to make these ideas up. And they just get perpetuated because the industry, and I will 100% agree with you on this, the industry doesn't do jack to counteract this. They don't care.
Right.
They almost want you thinking that way. And if you really do think that way, why are you still gambling? You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because if you really do think that this whole industry is so corrupt and everything else, you really should not be gambling. You should be just saying, "Oh, forget it. I'm done with that."
Yeah. No, well said, Dave. I think that's definitely true. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, is it possible? I mean, anything's possible.
Brenda says you eventually get caught when cheating. Look at Coldplay. There you go. Very relevant to our times. Yeah. Oh man. Let's see.
Oh, here's one for Shelly Phillips. Congrats on 89K. I subscribed a while ago. Thank you, Shelly. Appreciate it. Yes, we did hit 89K today. We are on our way to 100,000. You can make that happen if you're new here. Just click that subscribe button. Just click it. It's free. Not even going to charge you for it.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. And Brian Mills says, does Gaming Commission check those cards on who signs in and who out when something goes wrong with the slot? It depends on the type of malfunction. If it was a malfunction where a gameplay was in progress, then yes. Especially if it was a substantial payout. Like we've seen the stories and we've talked about the Wheel of Fortune stuff in the past. If it's anything serious, the Gaming Commission really needs to be involved, and they will start doing what they call forensics on the machine. They can look at the logs, the raw data that all slot machines carry. I mean, even some of them, if you go up to it and kind of bump it a little bit, it logs that. Like it logs everything that happens to that machine. A door is open, 100 is put in, a $10 bill is put in, a ticket's put in, it's put in upside down, it's put in up, all that stuff is logged so they can do proper forensics on the machine to check. And somebody else had another question in here. I'll just answer it too. Does the Gaming Commission do random checks? It really depends.
They do.
It depends on the casino, but I promise you they do go around and check this stuff. Probably not as often as they used to because a lot of the casinos know that there's danger there. Not that they're doing anything, but casinos, again, just focus on doing everything right so they never have to encounter that situation. But that is one of the things to check. If you hit a really big win, let's say you win 200 grand on the machine, they will call gaming control in to look at the forensics of the machine. They will check to make sure that this tape is still in place. That's why they always are in there. If you've ever seen it or if you've ever had it happen to you, you see the slot tech in there with a flashlight looking in, and the gaming commissioner is probably leaning over, or some kind of gaming control representative is looking over. That's what they're looking for. They're making sure that the machine was not tampered by the casino or anyone else. And so you have to just, in those situations with big, gigantic wins, you have to be patient because they're going to have to do their stuff. Just like if you won the lottery or anything like that, there's going to be a period of time. You don't get to go pick up your check the next day. There's a period of time where they got to check, make sure there wasn't any fraud, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of money being changed, right? So they want to be sure.
This for sure is. And we got J-Dog giving 10 memberships as well. Thank you, J-Dog. Appreciate that.
Thank you,
If you
J-Dog.
get one of those memberships, make sure to go over to our post section of our channel and see how you can join our Discord. Oh, I got one here from Ryan D. Do you think Buffalo Bills closing is a sign of troubles for Las Vegas, even though they're 30 miles to the south? No, I do not see Buffalo Bills closing as being a problem for Las Vegas. Buffalo Bills had a problem for a while of attendance. People don't want to stop there, except to look at the Bonnie and Clyde car, which is the best thing they got there. So I stopped there last year to see the Bonnie and Clyde car for the first time. This was a Friday. The place was completely vacant. There was no one there. I would say a total of 30 people in that whole place, and it's a pretty good size. So it definitely is not going to affect the Strip. I think if anything, it's going to help the rest of Las Vegas because that's one less casino on the outside. But I don't see it as a sign of anything that's going to really affect Las Vegas.
Yeah, and it's funny because Kay Dennis, what was the outcome of the woman who won big on the Wheel of Fortune but was told her machine? I actually was looking this up 2 days ago. It's funny you mentioned
getting her day in court, right?
So here's the thing. So I think if I remember what I read, she was denied the big jackpot because it was a true malfunction. And so she's not going to get the big money. But it looks like, and this is me paraphrasing what I read on the case so far, that the way it was handled by the casino was not great. They should have immediately shut the machine down and wait for gaming control to come in, but they started to tamper with it. So I think she may get something. I don't know. Again, I'm speculating. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not part of the case. I don't know the inside details of it. But I think it's more. It's moved past she's not going to get the 1.3 million.
Definitely.
But she's probably going to get something because of the way it was handled. Like it wasn't handled appropriately. So we'll have to see what turns out.
Someone's going to get her. Someone's going to get her some money from Samurai Jin. I had a crazy thought. Imagine a slot machine that spits out vouchers for food, drinks, random other casino merch on top of the chance to win money. Actually, they are working on that. That was part of a new technology that's coming out that we actually saw last year at G2E, where the player system is going to be more integrated, and so that we'll actually be able to spit out a voucher. And this is actually being sort of pushed into responsible gaming as well. Of if you're not doing so well, they will spit out a voucher for a meal, and it's good for like the next hour, trying to get you away, trying to get you to take a break, all that kind of stuff. So they are working on some neat things about this. Hopefully we see some updates on this soon. I can't remember the technology, but it was somebody who was putting that out, and it was like a big push for the Tito system. Titas. No, that's not right. That's definitely not right. Tito. It was some Tito
Tito.
variation. It was
Yeah.
a Tito, but it was something else because the Tato or whatever.
I
They
don't
named
remember.
it something differently because it was the experience in there.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Tato. It's gonna kill me now.
Yeah, you got to look it up now.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Michael Kalo says, I will be in downtown Las Vegas this weekend. Don't forget, go to Downtown Grand. We have a new code. It is Dave and Mark from Gamble Smart sent me. That's how you get your $15 in free slot play and then up to $50 in match play. Okay, so make sure you use that code. We have so many people in the comments that are commenting on random videos saying, what's the new code? Guys, you got to watch us to figure it out.
You gotta watch this.
It's a club. We're a club, right? All right. So does Four Queens still have Thunder Cash? Yeah, it has two of them. They're both 50 cents, right?
One's 50 cents. One, I think, is
a dollar.
One's 50 cents or 25 cents, and the other's $1. Yeah.
Okay. So I know one is 50 cents for sure because I've played that one several times.
The multi machine, I think, is $1 because
that's right.
4 games.
The multi, because that's got all of them, and then the standalone. Yeah. No, because that one's a multi also because I played. Anyway,
oh, it is.
They do have.
Right, it is a multi machine.
They do have two. I know one at least is at 50 cents, but Dave might be right that the other one was $1. So, Four Queens has such a great selection of machines. Now it's not a big place, but they've picked a good mix, right? And that's what I love about the place. Smoke, not so much, but they've got a good selection of machines there, and all in lower denominations. And Can't Catch Fish says, can you break a machine by fast tapping? If so, what happens if you break the slot by fast tapping during a slot tournament? Slot tournament, they're not going to mess with you.
No. Slot tournament,
that
happens.
They're not going to mess with you either on a regular machine. If you fast tap, it annoys everybody around you. I think we all agree with that. But you're not going to, even if you break the button.
If you're slamming the button, that's different.
Yeah,
okay. That's different. If you're trying to cause damage, that's different than I was hitting the button and it's stuck or it broke. That happens.
Those buttons are so cheap to replace and they're just plastic. Yeah. But if you start punching the screen and shaking the machine stuff, you're going to have a different outcome.
You're going to have big outcome. Yeah, that's for sure.
Fast tapping, no, it's not going to break anything. And even if it does, it's no big deal on
that. Here's one also from Etho G. Nicole. Online slots have better RTP than brick and mortar slots. I don't believe that is true, but there is no way of knowing. So yeah, that's not something that is known at all. But I would consider that, except for a few online slots, FanDuel, DraftKings, Horseplay, things that are registered in this country. Most of them are not better than brick and mortar because brick and mortar have laws that they have to follow, and most onlines don't.
And Slotman says, question, is the payback percentages on a home slot able to be changed? Yes, it can.
Yep.
The typical range, and guys, I have had hundreds and hundreds of machines come through here. And the range that I've always seen is 83% on the low up to 98% on the high. I've never seen anything outside of that range. So that's typically what's available to you. It's not a sliding scale, but you usually get anywhere from 3 to 10 options to pick from. And as a home user, you can set that.
And from La LV, good evening. For Class 2 games, are they all the same under the hood? If not, how are they different? So the machines we have behind us are Class 3 games. They have a computer core, a random number generator, the cash box, ticket printer, all that kind of stuff. A Class 2 game only has the ticket printer and the bill validator. That is all in a cash box. They do not have a CPU, so it is essentially hollow inside compared to these other ones. So that's the main difference between the two under the hood.
Gene, when playing old school 3-year-old games, when you hit the play button, sometimes there's a pause in the response. Why? I'm going to ask because I suspect I know the answer, but I'm going to ask because I really want to know for sure what this is. So I'm going to ask one of the manufacturers why this is there.
I have an idea what it is.
Set.
It's a 386 and 486.
Well, they're very
after
slow
a while.
Processes, yeah.
After a while, memory volatility comes into play. Memory.
That's what I was assuming that it was
Yeah.
a memory, like a clearing the temporary RAM.
Right.
because
They don't
even the
get rebooted often.
even the new cabinets do that. If you've ever sit next to a cabinet and all of a sudden you see the screen go black and then it comes back on, that's what it's doing. Is it's clearing the RAM so it's fresh. Because if you don't do that, what happens is some of the coders are bad and there's memory leakage along the way. Have you ever been on a slot machine and it's like the graphics are going really slow and they're choppy and all that kind of stuff? That's a memory leakage, and usually just a reboot fixes it. But slot manufacturers do build in. IGT is really good at this. They build in stuff that will just do a refresh to make sure that doesn't happen, so it doesn't impact your gameplay. But it's not changing anything about random number generators or anything like that, so no concern there.
Here's one from Cheap Slots and Cheap Gambling. How long do you think it will take WinStar to change the hand pay amount on their machines? Or do you think they will just have the attendants use the key and under $2,000 jackpots? So on the class 2 machines, that can be done on the server end. So that might be done really quickly. It's hard to say. I don't know the approval process of all that, but that's probably going to be the case in the class 2s. The class 3s that make up the other 4,000 slot machines, I'm kind of believing they're just going to let it be for the longest time and just sort of let attrition take care of it. So as new games come in and old games go out, it'll kind of fix itself. I don't really see them changing it that much just because I know the way WinStar is. They're not quick to make these changes and to spend the staff time.
And Critical Input says, I'm curious about how the bonuses and progressives are handled on these VLTs, which is video lottery terminals. Is the amount I win, for example, already predetermined? I don't know. This is something we've been trying to get people at G2E to tell us. So we'll make an effort this year to get HHR figured out, and then also VLTs and how the bonus rounds and stuff like that works.
Next year for sure.
I don't know what the deal is, but anything outside of class 3, everybody's very tight-lipped about things, and so we just have to keep trying to break through and figure this stuff out. I really don't want to speculate because I don't know.
That's the hard part, is that a lot of these companies are so secretive about this stuff. There's a lot of proprietary info revolving around all these. So sometimes it's really hard to get info out.
Yeah, it really is. And I think a lot of them don't. I'm not going to get into this. Okay, maybe a little bit. I think this industry drives me crazy because of the lack of transparency. You've heard me be very vocal about that in the past. That's why we're not trying to leak sensitive information, but we're trying to leak information that's very public, just hard to dig up, and not something that any casino exec's just going to tell you to your face, right? But there really is no reason, in my opinion, for all this stuff to not be known. Like, why don't you teach us and tell us how VLTs work? So I know that I'm playing a fair game of chance. I know that sounds ironic, a fair game of chance. But how do I know it's fair and not fixed? How do I know that the Gaming Commission has oversight over things? What are they doing to protect me, the player? These are the things that we're trying to break through on this industry to get people on camera, number one, which is impossible, but at least get people to start talking to us. And it's happening slowly but surely. And we want to share that with you guys because whether it helps you or not, I don't know. But I think if you knew more about what you're dealing with before putting money on the line, you're going to be a better gambler because of that, right? And that's part of our Dave and I's mission, is to try to get as much of this out there in front of you guys so that you can determine how that affects you or impacts your gaming sessions, right? So we will see. Again, VLTs, trying to get information is it's very difficult. All right, let's see. Joseph C., when you each the bonus round, is that also completely random or determined once you push the button to activate the bonus? So if it's a free spins bonus, it's not predetermined. I can't think of a single situation where it is predetermined. Those play out random event for every single spin that you do. The only time it's predetermined most of the time is when you're doing the pick your bonus for a progressive win. That is almost always predetermined. Good question, though.
And from Adam's Exploits, thoughts on buying a bonus on slots? I watched a slot channel, and they buy them all the time and lose 9 times out of 10. That's pretty much what we've seen too. We've experienced it. We've bought 3, I think, bonuses, and each one of them was less than what we bought it for. So I'm not a fan. And plus, I'd rather get it through the gameplay anyway.
I think that this is kind of like here's my opinion on buy a bonus. I know I've said it before. I loaded one. I can't remember the game, but I loaded it and I played it. Did a buy a bonus on it, and it took 20 attempts before I ended up with a positive outcome, and it was just
20.
barely over. It was just barely over. So what you're really playing for is the edge case there, and you know how we like to talk a lot about. It's not about rushing. Like if you feel like you're rushing to get to the result, if you're the kind of person that fast taps through all the free games or is fast tapping through just normal play, that you're just trying. I think at that point your dopamine levels are just off the charts, and that's when you become. I guess that's when you become in a weakened state of reason, right? And that's why I think buy-a bonuses are generally bad, because it's training your mind to hurry up and get to the result. If you want to do it, go for it. I don't think that's a suggestion that we'll ever make, but I think that if you don't like to just play things out and see what happens, if you want to just rush to the end, by all means do it, but be prepared for the traps that are there inherently for the buy-a bonus. Like we talked about, I think a couple of weeks ago. Okay, you buy a bonus for $1,000, you get $890 back. Are you going to just be strong enough to cash out that $890 and leave? Most people say, "Well, let me buy another bonus, and I'll just keep buying a bonus." And what are you doing? You're just whittling yourself down very quickly instead of taking the money and running. It's just my opinion. I just don't think it's a good idea. You got to be there for the enjoyment of the game,
right?
Count your spins, things like that. Don't try to just rush to the end. Just not recommended by us.
And we got one here from Stetson Miller. Thoughts on Pinball Grand now that it's been out for a bit? What happened to Pinball Gold? Just never caught on after Double Gold was released? No, not really. So I think Pinball Grand and Pinball Gold just haven't really gotten the feel back for them. A lot of places are bought Double Gold Pinball, and none of them were released. Most of them were bought, and so now they're kind of stuck with Pinball Gold, and they're not really wanting to, Pinball Double Gold, and they're not really wanting to change out for another one at this point. So we're probably going to see it in another couple of years when people start changing out. Now, I have seen more Pinball Gold and Pinball Grand lately, because I think as these double RS machines are being changed over from different ones, they can just keep changing those out, since they can just do that. They can just change the game. So I think we're going to see more Pinball Grand and Pinball Gold, but I'm really hoping we see a lot less Double Gold. If I never saw Double Gold again, I'd be fine. I mean, I don't like it.
It's still a very popular thing, though. People love it.
It is very true. Very popular.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it either. I never have hit something good on it. Not saying you can't, but it's tough.
Right.
Let's see. Brian 916. What are the odds of hitting the grand on the same machine 6 weeks apart? I can't believe I did it a few days ago. I put pictures in. Wow. Yeah, I remember that. So, it's all about probabilities. Like, people get too caught up with slot machines thinking that there is a schedule. Just because the grand has been hit means it needs to wait a while before the grand can be hit again. That's just not true. That's not how these games work. Your odds of hitting the grand on the very next spin are the same. Is it probable to happen? No, because of the odds. The odds are against that happening. But it could, is the thing, okay? Take a simpler game like Double Diamond. Getting 3 double diamonds is roughly 1 in 46,000. So 1 in every 46,000 spins, you get 3 double diamonds. Does that mean that you have to wait 446,000 spins before you can get it? No, not at all. You can get it on the very next spin if you're very, very lucky, if you just happen to get the right RNG stop. So although it's unusual to happen, you technically could get the grands back-to-back on the very next spin, because the odds have not changed. It's exactly the same. They're just high, right? And you hear this too, just outside of gambling. You hear it in lottery. People winning the lottery more than once. Well, how in the world can they do that? It must be fixed, right? It's like 1 in 316 million chance or whatever to get it. The odds are not likely, but it's probable. It's just possible to get it, right?
It's possible, not probable.
It's possible, not probable. Let's see.
John's distracting me here, asking about my energy bill.
Okay.
Oh, here's a good one for you, Mark. Mark.
Oh.
What's the update on Summer of No Gambling? All is well? Question mark.
Yeah, everything's doing great, guys. We have a great group of people. About 58 of you signed up for the challenge. We've had some pretty good successes. We even had several of them cancel their trip to Vegas to do this challenge, which I highly commend them for. I mean, that's a tough call, right? You already had plans to go out there and gamble, and you decided to stop to commit to this challenge. I'm doing really well with that. In fact, I mentioned to Dave earlier that I said I actually feel good enough right now that I could probably walk through a casino and be okay with it. I'm not going to. I'm going to wait still till October. I'm not going to change that. But the urge, even though I had it real strong there for a while, I don't have it as much as I used to. And I'm certainly more excited to drop back into my old habits of playing low denominations with my gamble box and all that. I'm really excited about trying that. I wanted to give just a thought, because there were some naysayers out there that are, dogging me, saying, well, obviously he doesn't practice any of this stuff because he's an idiot, and he's telling everybody to stop gambling for 3 or 4 months. That's not it at all. Like, this is about raising awareness, right? It is about isolating a problem, which I had. It was not a devastating problem, guys. I am not a degenerate gambler because I lost $1,000 on a cruise ship, right? I still had my bills. I stopped, I walked out of there, those things. I was able to
verify he still has a house.
Yes.
He still has a guest bedroom that I stay in.
That's right. But it's about, it was an activity that occurred that I wanted to raise awareness of to everybody else, right? Nobody does this right now, in my opinion. Well, I'm sure there's people out there. I can't speak for all of YouTube. There's too many videos that are talking about this stuff so openly and getting people to join in on a challenge to stop gambling for 3 months, so that they can kind of think about whether they want to even return, or when they do return. And this is what we're talking about every single day in our private chat here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do different whenever October rolls around and we're going to go back to the casino? Several of us are going to be there live at the Downtown Grand, and we're going to do our own little challenge together. First spinoff after 3 months of not gambling at all. It's going to be a lot of fun, right? So it's all about raising awareness of things that do occur, even the best of us. And I understand that we teach you all this stuff, but you know why Dave and I teach you all this? Because we've done it. We've been through it.
Screwed up over and over.
We've screwed up so many times, and the only reason that we can talk about it, I think that we're in a better position to talk about it because we've been through the screw ups before, right? We've learned to figure out what were the trigger mechanisms, and then we share it with you guys, and in the hopes of making you more aware of when that happens and putting action plans in place and stuff like that. And I have to say, I'm very proud of the people that we have in there that decided to sign up for this. We talk daily in there, supporting each other. A couple of them have slipped up and gone to the casino. They feel terrible, but you know what? It's a no judgment zone. We talk to them and they say, hey, it's okay. It happens. Like, this is part of the process, right? It's not easy for everybody. And get them thinking about other things, and it's working, right? And that's what's important here, is about being open and honest with ourselves when it comes to gambling. Don't brush it under the rug. Don't say, well, I screwed up. Who cares? I'll go next week and I'll make it up, right? We got to stop saying that. We got to start talking about, no, maybe you need to stop going every single weekend. If you're losing your ass every weekend, you need to do something. You got to change and break that cycle. And so that's what we're really trying to talk about on this channel more than anything else, is to just be aware. Awareness is king when it comes to this.
Very true, Mark. Very true. And we got a $10. Oop, where'd it go? There it is. $10 Spirit of the Morning Super Chat in honor of Marks and GSGS transparency and integrity. We do try our best. And no, so I did see a comment about this, and I'm going to address it because I want to address this. It was something about other channels. Here it is from Time Will Tell. Yet slot channels love being sponsored, paid by the online casinos to do influence subscribers sign up, we are going with an online casino. We will have more announcements as soon as we get that. It is registered. It is legal in the United States. It is a licensed casino, or not casino, but gaming establishment. But when we look at these things, we're not looking at dollar signs. We're looking at how it's best for you. And Mark is my witness to this. Well, actually, I had to tell him afterwards because he missed the meeting. I am grilling this guy because of how they handle their bonus credits. And I'm like, we don't want these bonus credits for our players. He's like, why wouldn't you want the bonus credits? Because the play true is too high. That's my opinion on that. And I will stand up against that to anybody who wants to come at me and say, why aren't you going with this online casino and that, blah, blah. Like, because we grill these guys on what they're doing. We had secret shoppers go through. We had them test it out. We didn't tell them anything. We said, here's $50. Go check it out and tell me what you think. So when we actually pick out an online casino or anything at all, it's because we have gone through and we figured out what is wrong with this and what is right with it and how it's best for you. We're not going to send you to any sweepstakes. We're not going to send you to McLuck. We're not going to send you to any of these shady places. It's going to be legit places only. Legit places.
Well said. Guys, I wish you could see how many influence requests that we get a week in our inbox. It is
we get
ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And
every online casino that you've never even heard of, we get.
Yeah. Delete.
We search every one. It comes through as soon as we see Madagascar, Mozambique, Philippines, any of these places. Saint there was one off the coast of Africa that was like Saint something. It's just they're all scams, and that's just not what we're about.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait a minute, did we miss a couple of super chats?
Now we got one here. Lil Joe, jackpot mark, congrats, 777. Thank you, Lil Joe.
All right. And
I appreciate you, man.
J-Dog give away another 10 memberships?
He did.
Dang. J-Dog, thank you.
J-Dog.
Another 10 memberships. Make sure you guys thank J-Dog for those memberships. Man, that's awesome.
Thank you, guys.
And this one from Brenda Lee. I saw a YouTuber who had the casino manager with them. When they put money in the machine, there was $1 plus in the machine, and they kept it and played it. Aren't they supposed to report it? Yes, they're supposed to report it. They're supposed to cash out. That's not supposed to be what they're supposed to happening, all that stuff. But I want you to think about it this way. Was that their money? Were they playing originally? Did they talk to the manager, set it up to be a new intro, and that was their money they put in? So kind of think about that when you're watching YouTube. Look for the cuts. Look for how it could be manipulated. Don't just take it all at face value. I actually commented on someone on TikTok's video about they're going to a certain experience and paid for it, and they wanted to know if anyone had done it. And I said, well, we got a great video on that. Go check it out. And the comments I saw were, people always win. People always win. And I'm like, because they're not posting the losers. That's why.
That's right. Yeah.
So, make sure you're looking for editing in any situation, even ours. Look for our editing. I can tell you right now, my editing sucks. So if you see a cutaway, it's going to be because I purposely cut away, but it's never going to be on gameplay. You're never going to see a cutaway when we're playing a game. It's going to be solid on that from start to finish. We don't ever cut any of that.
Except for shorts.
Yeah. Shorts don't count.
But you guys should know, do you want us to post a 2-minute short of us losing? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, almost every short I post is of a bonus. Okay.
Yeah.
And Proud Monkey does a lot of shorts of us talking and everything, but if it's a bonus short, it's because I posted a bonus short. So it's a bonus. You hope to win in the bonus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all we're saying there is just to be very, very cautious, guys. Like you should know that. And again, what Dave and I have talked about this many times. Like,
it was not their money. Yes, then they should have cashed that out. The casino manager should have cashed it out and handed it in. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yes, that was their.
That's what they're.
They were being completely incorrect on that.
Yep. Yeah, one of the things that Dave and I are always talking about, and we want to remind you guys, is that it's YouTube is a dangerous game, right? Like, you want to entertain people, and I get that. Like, nobody wants to watch a video with losers. And here's a perfect example of this. I will scroll through. You know me, I love Top Dollar. I'm searching for it all the time. I'll scroll through, and I'll find somebody that has a thumbnail of Top Dollar, and then the description says, "I lost on Top Dollar." I'm probably not going to click on that one, right? And so, even though I love Top Dollar, if I know it's going to be a losing video, I'm not going to click on it. But that, and you see kind of the cycle there, right? You want to watch the excitement. You want to see the wins and all that. What we're trying to recommend is that do that, enjoy yourself. Don't try to replicate. If you don't see a full long playthrough of a game, don't think that you shouldn't expect the same results that they got, especially if it's just a short video, like a TikTok or something like that. You know, palaces, full screen of palaces. You know how hard it is to get even to that point to get the palaces.
I got a great video
Huff and Puff Grand
with Huff and Puff Grand. It was awesome. Can't wait to show you guys.
It's probably a loser.
It's the super loser. Stupid
so
game.
All we're saying is just remember that line of entertainment and education, right? And you really should be aware of that at all times when you're watching those games. Don't try to emulate the big boys. They've got deep pockets that can run through these games.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us do not have that, and I don't want to see any of you get hurt by trying to emulate something like that, thinking it's that easy to get the bonus. You should play higher bets. I hear it all the time on YouTube videos. I heard you got to raise your bets. You got to always raise your bets. Raise your bets. You're never going to win on that bet. You got to raise your bets. I will bet exactly how I want to bet, and I will be just fine. And that's the mentality you should have.
And Ryan D, another 5 memberships gifted. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that.
Hey, thank you, Ryan. You guys have been awesome tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna grab this.
I like your thumbnail too, Ryan. 777 double. That's great.
Nice. So this question has been asked multiple times. So the jackpot amount was raised. It will take effect. I believe it's taking effect January 1, or no, it takes effect right away. Taxes. No. It is January 1. Okay, January 1. It takes effect. It's going from $1,200 to $2,000. The machines are still going to go off at $1,200 for a while, maybe forever. Who knows? You're just not going to get a W2G. So there is news on this. There is another bill being pushed through Congress now. It's probably going to be taken up after the break. They just went on summer break, so it's going to be taken up after that. That is resetting maybe the 90% losses back to 100% and increasing the jackpot. There is an amendment on there, and it will go to $5,000. Most likely that is not going to stand. That'll probably come down a lot, maybe to $2,400, which makes more sense than $2,000.
We shall see.
We shall see.
And Bob Johnson coming in with a 10 gift membership.
Bob Johnson, right. Thank you, Bob.
JJ General, I know you were hoping the algorithm would give you one. I hope you got one now.
That's a lot to get from.
Make sure you have your settings set too that you can accept them. All right. Okay, guys, I think we're going to wrap up for tonight. We got through a lot of questions. Really do appreciate you guys.
Almost all of them.
Yeah, I know. It's great. I'm tired, though. It's been a long day. But, guys, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for all the gifted memberships tonight from you guys and the super chats and all that stuff. Excuse me. We really do appreciate you guys. Bear with us. I know the daily tips have not been going on regular schedule. We need to take a little bit of a break from it, but we'll be back at you with those probably next week or the week after that. So stay tuned for that. We've got a lot more videos in the queue ready to come your way. So guys, thank you very much. Some of them even good. Some of them are good. We'll see. Your Huff and Puff Grand. We can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, all right, guys. I got a bunch of good ones like that.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, guys. As always, gamble smart.
Gamble safe.
We'll see you later, guys. Have a good weekend.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Gamble safe.